Yo, what's up,
Yeah.
guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is just like, oh,
Yeah.
that was a weird episode. Skylander, okay, tell me how you feel about like the ending. Like, obviously, it wasn't
I
Xander's, so
got
you're
this
already happy.
plan. I got this plan. You ready? Listen up.
Let me see.
All the Survivor Edgic people can just suck it. Okay, they're like, oh my god, Tiffany's gonna win. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't, bro. Some people had Tiffany at number one. The Meridian Reveal.
Bruh.
You're not watching this, but bro, come on. I don't know how you guys had Tiffany number one. I
Oh
had her like
my
at the bottom three every single time, and everyone was like,
Same.
oh my god, Tiffany's gonna win.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. This episode
Stupid.
proved you all wrong. I'm the best. And Xander didn't get voted out. That's a
There you go.
W in my books.
WW. So you may be seeing someone at the bottom of the screen like, who is the? Well, you should know who it is because he makes amazing videos. His name is the Bitter Juror, and he's making this great content. He's about what 3 videos in, and he's already blowing up. I mean, this guy's he's clouded up. He's clouded up. No, he's a good friend of ours, and we wanted to get him on a podcast. And yeah, so Bitter Juror, tell us a little about yourself. You know, how you started YouTube, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I've started YouTube basically just recently, so
yeah.
Mainly because no one talks about Survivor the way I like to talk about it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he has a very different channel and different type of market that in way that he talks about Survivor. It's less about gameplay and more about just the overall wokeness in Survivor. So if you like my last Chantel video, you would love this guy's entire channel. I mean, they go hand in hand, except his videos are better than mine. So it's okay. We're good. Great. All right.
I would just make one caveat. It's more not the wokeness, more the stupidity of the show.
Exactly. Oh, really, hypocrisy is probably a better word on it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Exactly.
All the bad things,
just
things.
bad. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't out of this episode. I mean, I don't think it's like the worst episode, and it's not even like probably in the bottom half. I think it's in the top half. I don't know if it's in the top part of the top half though. I feel like it's a pretty average episode. Do you guys put this episode as below average, or just completely high up? Like, oh my god, like what a fantastic episode.
I mean, I guess I'll go first. So I mean, the entire time watching, I just felt like, yeah, this is your average Survivor episode.
Yeah.
Not like bad. It was a good episode.
I have a feeling that
Survivor on my screen, but it wasn't overly great.
I have a feeling that they probably just didn't have a lot of camp life scenes, and so they did the Shan versus Ricard thing, which we'll get to in a second as to who we feel like was probably in the right there. But I feel like they did that. They did the kind of like the reward challenge that was kind of useless, and then they got into the strategy. Now it was kind of cool to see that like how Shan was just so stressed out trying to be like that mafioso type of character that she ended up almost getting almost stressing herself out. Like you could see how stressful her role was in this episode, where she's telling all these people and everyone's like, oh well, oh my god, it's my name, that's the second name. And you know what, rightfully so, that's a good move by those people, but from Shan's perspective, that must be so stressful. But then again, that's kind of what you assume when you want to take complete control over the game. So I mean, it's kind of it was interesting to see Shan just really just suffer this entire episode. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Bitter Juror, what did you think of the episode?
Overall, compared to this season, I think it's above average. I like a lot of the hunger stuff, like that.
Yeah.
That's up my alley for Survivor. Like, it brings me back to old school stuff, and that's what I prefer.
Okay.
As for Shan, I don't know. I was enjoying watching her suffer pretty much the whole
I think episode. You know why.
Yeah. Highlight of the night was her and Leanna crying over.
I thought that was pretty cringy. I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
yeah, it was very cringy. They were like, we didn't get grilled cheese. I was like, why are you crying?
It was like, you're crying over grilled cheese. Like, really, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like cheese that much, so I probably would have been pretty pissed if I won that reward.
Yeah,
you eat all the chips.
Yeah, I would have eaten all the chips.
So let's just go back to the beginning. So this episode starts off, and we get what's like the first part. So we get the aftermath of the tribal. It's really in that first scene before the reward challenge. We get the Yase 3 just completely bailing on each other. I mean, Jesus,
that was. Bail. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah,
me too.
me too. Because like they could have flipped Erica and Nasir, and now all of a sudden it's 5-5, and they have or at least most of the advantages. They have one extra vote, and on top of that, they also have Xander's idol, and then and then if they flip Nasir, they also have Nasir's idol as well. And the only thing that the other would have is Shan's advantage, because Liana wasted hers last episode. And so
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why the three didn't try that. I mean, and I generally think that Evie thinks that she can beat Xander, and that Xander thinks that he can beat Evie. So it's not like this one. It's like one great player and then a bunch of goats. Like
Yeah.
it seems to me like Evie and Xander both had something to do there. Like it wasn't some sort of like, okay, well Evie and Tiffany just have to flip on Xander right now, because if not, then it's automatic loss. I feel like it was kind of stupid of them to not try and at least try it out and try to grind it out to the end. But they obviously immediately bailed on each other.
Yeah.
We specifically saw, I believe, I honestly think it was Evie probably going the most aggressive on flipping, or maybe it was Tiffany. I mean, they all did, but I'd say in order from most aggressive to least aggressive was probably Evie, Tiffany, and then Xander. But they were all doing it. And after this, we went to the reward challenge. What do you guys think of Xander almost finding the thing, but then not finding the thing?
Bro,
Then
I was mad. Bro looked left and right, but couldn't like have the idea of look up and down. I was like, he looked straight out. He looked over. He looked straight. I was like, oh my god, dude. Seriously. I mean, yeah, he got Michaela from Game Changers, except this time no one actually got the advantage. So
exactly.
I bet Xander felt so stupid watching that. He was
watching
like, oh
that
my
back.
god.
Yeah.
Are you guys a fan of the bench hidden idol?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more neutral towards it since we only seen it like once, right? So
Yeah.
I prefer it to be in the challenge than it's. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean
Eric almost got it, so
It feels so obvious that it's there.
The thing with me is I don't know how Sarah found that in 34.
Yeah, it was way better then.
Super impressive, because I mean even Michaela couldn't find it. In 34. So like no one who sits there actually finds it. It's always like someone looking at the bench. And in that challenge, they were all looking at the bench like at the end, whereas in this one they're kind of faced towards like almost away from it. And so it seemed like it was a little bit harder to find than anything else. I will say, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a big fan of showing this challenge if it's not being found. I feel like it was kind of a waste of 10 minutes.
I feel like
that's why
the Eevee thing, the Eevee puzzle thing.
Yeah, I guess so. And also with Ricard and Chantel's fight, they kind of have to show the challenge to show that. But I mean, they just must have had no content for this episode. They must have had none, because they showed a useless reward challenge and then a fight between Shan and Ricard, neither of which went home today.
And that's my favorite. That's my favorite kind of Survivor.
I know. I like watching people like be petty about something dumb. Like I think it was like kind of insensitive for Ricard to like literally like I think like what 2 seconds after he came back from eating
I love that.
grilled cheese, he just bends over and he's like, oh you got this.
He's
and
like, give me that grill. Give me that.
And then like I just feel like Ricard is very like sensitive, but like doesn't care about anyone else because I don't like
exactly.
As much as I don't like Ricard as like a person on like social media, I really like him in the game. He's a great character, I think, as someone.
So you might have met your auntie, like your nice juror.
I know.
Because Skylander does not like Xander.
I just think he's super annoying. He's like Bradley 2.0 in my opinion, but whatever. At least he isn't like constantly complaining like Bradley did. I can make like an hour-long video about why Bradley might be my least favorite Survivor contestant ever. I don't like Bradley whatsoever.
I don't like Ricard, but I like him as a character. If you know what I mean by that.
Yeah. You can appreciate him as a character, but you don't like him as a person. I guess is that what you mean?
Well, I could care less about him as a person, but he definitely adds drama to like he's a perfect casting to add drama to a season.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And he's actually not like he has like that Abby Maria effect, but he's not as good at it. But
Abby Maria is also one of my least favorite contestants too.
Really?
But that's the thing though, is at least he's a good player, whereas Abby Maria never wins Survivor.
He's a better player.
A better player.
He might not be good with.
He might be a good player, but he definitely is a better player. Where like I think I could see Ricardo like at least winning a couple scenarios. Abby Maria wins like none. I think she's like the
Yeah.
goat of all goats. Yeah, Shan is a train wreck when it happened. I know in the pre-merge she was so good, but now like you can really see like whenever she doesn't get her way, she kind of like freaks out and stuff like that.
I think Shan is just getting to the point now where she's so stressed that like even like the smallest thing, she's just like a cannon. And I get it because like watching and that's only the stuff that they could show us in the time. Imagine all the stuff that actually went down.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, she had like 8 more combos like that where people were like, well, no, Shan, I don't want my name coming up. And so like it's like that must get annoying after like the third combo of like the past minute. Like, so I can understand why she's upset, but I also like that's part of the game, 1, and 2, you're putting yourself in the mafioso role, so you need to be able to handle that stress. And so it is on her for assuming that, like, she calls herself the mafioso pastor, so you need to be able to be the mafioso pastor. I mean, like, it's like
kill people. What it is.
Well, okay, listen. But for me, it seems to me like Shan is definitely a train arc waiting to happen, and if she doesn't just calm down and take a deep breath, I think she'll be in some serious trouble.
I also think that like Deshaun kind of had like a weird episode because like he was like really complaining about like how his voice wasn't gonna hurt or whatever, but like that's not what it is. It's that his opinion. Like that, no one agreed with his opinion. It's not that like his voice wasn't getting heard. It's because no one agreed with his opinion, and he didn't like that no one agreed with his opinion.
We only see Shan not liking his. Like Danny liked his opinion.
Yeah,
in the series.
That is true.
So I think Shan's coming in way overconfident from how she handled her original tribe and running that, and I think she's like way over her head now.
Deshaun only had a problem with like Chantel both times it came up. Once at tribal council and once like when they were at camp or whatever.
Yeah, Shan, you can't make the blunder of calling one of the people you're talking to like you're babysitting them or something like that.
Yeah, it was like I can't baby you right now. I was like,
I would lose all respect for you.
Yeah, I was like, I can't baby you right now. Like, that's definitely not something you want to say to
Terrible
Deshaun
comment.
at tribal council.
Respect went up for me with Deshaun this week.
Me too,
because you can tell he's playing for himself. He's not.
He is true. And then the next time on, he's like, fuck it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm getting a new alliance. You see you guys later. Which I'm kind of. I'm okay with that because like the less racial alliances the better in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
I know the juror agrees with that.
Yeah, so after the reward challenge, we get back and let's specifically talk about the confrontation that we get between Shan and Ricard. So I believe it's Ricard who starts it, where he after he has his grilled cheese, which to be honest, that's not like I'm sure that they get more food with Nasir there than what's in a grilled cheese.
Yeah, no, Nasir's just the goat. Yeah, literally, he's the
exactly.
goat.
So I mean, trading a grilled cheese for not having food, for not at least Shan's rules, not being allowed to have food all day, I don't think that's a pretty even trade. I feel like they would rather just have the food in the jungle than to trade all the food all day.
If you were on a season and you came back from a reward, like a food reward, would you do that?
No. I would.
I thought it was hilarious.
I was
like this is a new rule that you don't know about till you play. Like everyone knows that.
Yeah, I would have at least like been like, oh, can I have a bit before I like? Yeah. He just like one of those like, give me some of that, and like.
Well, no, I think he like said like, oh, can I have any, like as he's reaching and eating it? Like,
as he's reaching, can I have a piece? And it's already swallowed in his mouth. It's like, bro.
Yeah, it's like, bro, what's the point? You should have just grabbed it and ran away or something. Shit.
Yeah, just grab it and run away, never come back.
Just just go to Ponderosa.
Could have had the papaya bandits, but
yeah, there you go. So, and then after this, Shan's like, Ricard, I'm not smiling. So she's really mad. And then after that, we then cut to, I believe it's Shan with other people saying that was like not cool, like that was very childish, things like that. And we like basically get like a whole scene focusing on her side of the argument, and then we basically get it flipped, and then we get Ricard's side of the argument, which I actually like this way of editing. I hate when like they just show one person's perspective because they want you to like that person more, and then the other person is just like the person who's in like the B-roll footage, like with a weird face. That's like not what I want to see. I would much rather see the two sides of the argument, even if I only like agree with one and I'm just scoffing at the other, or like this situation where I'm just laughing at both of them. I like seeing both arguments, not just like seeing one argument painted in a great way and the other one not even put in the TV show. So I do like this way of editing fights. I think it made it more tolerable to have this fight go on for 10 minutes because of the fact that we got 5 minutes of her perspective and then 5 minutes of his, instead of 10 minutes of her just rambling on and us being like, yay.
I agree.
There's also a setup and a payoff. Like we get Ricard making a mistake and then making a good move by sacrificing the challenge for Rice.
Yeah, both Chantel and Ricard did that too.
Yeah. And so
I think
after this,
I think Shan was just hungry, but
yeah,
she was. Yeah. After the she talked about being a pastor. I was like, nah, bro, you're hungry. It's okay.
So get them social points,
So after this fight, do we go straight to the immunity challenge after this fight?
I think so.
Wow. So that means that the Yase 3 flipping, the reward challenge, the fight was the first 40 or what, like 35 minutes of the episode. Holy, that's like that's like 10 minutes per thing, and those are not very big things. I think that's really where this episode dropped. I think they edited the tribal as best they could, because it's honestly, in the end, it's a pretty boring boot. It's okay. The Yase 3 gets targeted, they get through the merge vote, but then Tiffany goes home. Like on paper, it's boring, but then they made it really fun by like talking about how the 8 is trying to split, but then like everybody doesn't want to be like what, like the person who's getting splitted with, and then like we like see Xander like go to them and be like, oh, like should I play my idol? And it's like, will like he play it or not? And then we also got like the storyline of Shan being just super stressed about like life in general, just being depressed. And so I feel like they made it more interesting than it actually was. Like I feel like
Heather single-handedly made the tribe more interesting out of all people. She was the one that started whispering right when Jeff said it.
Yeah, right. It's like he's like, "Are you guys ready
vote?"
And then she's like, "Hold on, Jet. Oh, like, really? You couldn't have done it at time or like ready? Like, come on now." Like,
I thought she was going just because of, like, they just started giving her a bunch of limelight.
I thought she was gonna go try to grab an idol or something. Just like, trust me when I do this. She like, whatever. Like, are you gonna go try to grab an idol like behind a torch or something? I was like, oh, that's what I thought for a second. Then she goes over to whisper to like Erica.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I agree with this guy. I think there was a lot of like pre-tribal, just kind of pointless strategy. The thing is though that they made it feel like super important to the episode when really none of it was important, because we only got like one conversation about going with Tiffany. The rest of it was about Heather, Nasir.
Because most of it I think happened at tribal, honestly.
Well, and setting up the fracture between Deshaun and Shan.
Exactly.
True.
Yep. Yeah. So really, what we got was Evie before the challenge. It's all her, and then it was fracture between Deshaun and Shan, and then Deshaun and Ricard, and then we also got Heather's name thrown out. We got Nasir's name thrown out. We got Xander's name thrown out, and then we also had Tiffany's thrown out. But the one that was spent the least time on is Tiffany's, and so I do think that like a lot of like I'd say 90% of the strategy of this episode for the entire episode was useless, honestly, but they made it feel useful, and so that's why this episode isn't like at that like episode 3 episode 2 level of like because of the fact that they were able to kind of trick us as viewers into caring about all the strategy that really didn't matter in the end.
Yeah
I think
which is it just one more thing. After the fact, it feels like that wasn't a good episode. But during it, you were like, yeah, it's a pretty good episode. And then after the fact, once you realize that all that stuff was basically useless, then you start to look back and you're like, was that really a good challenge? Like, was that really a good episode?
I liked it. I liked the episode.
Yeah, I thought it was subpar to average to decent. I think it was
average to above average.
Yeah, I agree. It's above average for me.
Ooh.
I wouldn't go with good. I definitely would not go with bad, and I wouldn't go with like subpar. I would lean more towards average / decent. I don't know if it's necessarily a good episode. I can't say good necessarily.
Yeah. Real quick. So I think you said you wanted to start answer people's questions. So someone has a question in the chat. It says 2 repeated challenges. How do you guys feel about that?
So 2 repeated challenges. Yeah, I mean they didn't repeat. Wait. Is he talking about like challenges from past seasons?
From past seasons.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I like that. I mean, they're like trying all these new challenges. It is nice to just see some old ones. It makes it feel like, oh yeah, like I remember when the show used to be like normal, like and not good, and like not hypocritical all the time and political. Yeah, I remember back in those days when it wasn't like this. But yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I think honestly. I think honestly, I'm fine with repeated challenges. Now, if you mean repeated, meaning like back to back, meaning like basically you had a challenge like one scene and then another challenge, which I don't think you mean that, but just in case you do, I feel like that's not really necessary because the first challenge, I feel like if Xander finds the idol at the first challenge, it has to be in the episode. Period. End of story. But when it's not, I feel like unless there's something grave that's like comes out of that challenge, I don't really think it's necessary. I do think they probably were reaching, and so they needed the Shan and Ricard fight to be in there, just like because they didn't have anything else, and so for that to happen, they then also needed to cut out some stuff to add the challenge in, so that we knew why they were fighting.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know.
And that's not the editor's fault either if they don't have anything to, obviously go off with. We can't really blame them.
I mean, there are like not every episode, like even in Kagyan, there was like the freaking like I don't know like the Jeff reboot, like nobody remembers the Jeff reboot.
Bro, that was my favorite boot.
Yeah,
really?
Honestly.
No.
He's joking.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say,
there's always like a bruh vote of the season where it's like
like the Morgan vote of Kagyan, like those are two votes that people don't really remember. People remember that the freaking LJ blindside, the Sarah blindside, the Trish vote. They remember the Final Four, like they remember all that. They don't really remember like these little small forgettable episodes, and that's why I feel like. Where is it? Right here. Like he says above average, not memorable, and I feel like that's so true because I feel like I'm not gonna remember this episode at all. Maybe maybe the Shan and Deshaun seeds being planted of them splitting. That's probably the most important thing from this episode. Honestly.
I feel like this episode is in a lot of ways like a pretense to what the next episode is. It feels like the next episode is gonna be like a big episode because Deshaun's like, oh no, I don't want to be with the guys anymore. I think Shan says, and I quote, I'm tired of bending my back for this guy or something like that. So there's that. I feel like this is kind of like a pretense to what's going to happen next episode, kind of like a setting things up to maybe like Ricard, Deshaun, and Chantel, one of these bigger players going home.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's like this calm before the storm kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like that this episode is building up some things for next episode, and I'm okay with every episode not trying to be the LJ boot, because if every episode tries to be the LJ boot, no episodes are going to be the LJ boot. That's the point. Is sometimes an episode has to know what it is. If you're a filler episode, if you're an episode that has one big moment, so then you need to build yourself around that moment. It's kind of like basketball. It's like with basketball,
that's completely fine too.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with basketball is like you can build your entire team around one really, really star player. If you try to make every single player a star player and treat them like a star player in your playbook, you're not going to succeed at all. I feel like the episode needs to know what it's building around. This episode was just a filler episode. There was nothing to really build around here, except building up things for episodes to come.
Except for punching the edge people in the face. That's what this episode's all about.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. And then like certain episodes are built around like one big moment. Like for example, I think episode 5, the one where Genie, episode 5 where Genie goes home.
5,
that's built around the 3 idols finally coming together. I feel like that was the big moment of that episode. Episode 4 was just a great episode all around. They had tons of things to build on. And then episode 7 is like your LJ Boot episode, where it's just a great episode top to bottom. And so some episodes just aren't going to be memorable. It doesn't mean it's bad, but it definitely doesn't mean it's good.
And
necessarily great.
Someone said, did the Yasa 3 stick together and vote Nasir? No, I think Xander voted for Nasir, and I think Evie and Tiffany were the 2 votes for Heather, if I'm not mistaken. I watched like the after show things. I knew what happened. No, I watched like the after like little preview or whatever. I watched the votes because I wanted to see what the vote, because there was a lot of votes. There was like a couple of votes for like I think 1 Nasir, 2 1 Nasir, 2 Heather, 2 Tiffany. Yeah, no. So I think Xander ended up voting for Nasir. He was the only vote for Nasir, and Evie and Tiffany voted for Heather. And I think and Deshaun voted for Xander. Someone else voted for Xander too, and then the rest were all just Tiffany votes.
So. Okay, so it was okay. So it was the 2 Yase 3 girls voting for Heather. Yes. It was Xander voting for who? Nasir. And then it was Deshaun just getting mad and voting for Xander.
Yeah, I think Deshaun voted for Xander.
Yeah, and then it makes sense. And then the rest of them just voted like somewhere, just like random. Okay. Or sorry, for Tiffany. I mean, for Tiffany. Okay.
Oh no. No. Deshaun voted for Tiff. I'm trying to find who was the other Xander vote. You can keep talking though.
Maybe it was like Heather or something. Just got scared. I don't know.
Let
Whatever.
me look it.
Well,
You
I,
can keep going. I'm just
yeah.
Well,
So, Bitterger, tell me about how you
this year.
feel about the episode as a whole this year. Of course, yeah, it makes sense. How do you feel about the episode as a whole, as far as how it's building up the storylines? Do you like that it's building them up, or do you like when they just build storylines for a specific episode in that episode?
Yeah, I think you need build up episodes. You can't just have constant, payoffs. But the episode like it really confuses me from last week, right? We talked about how the Yasa kind of just like broke up this week. It shows me like makes last week look more dumb for them. Like, did they not plan ahead for after they were successful this week? Like their plan was to then we'll backstab each other.
Yeah, they all just they all just turned the bus immediately. Even like Evie, which I don't know if she meant it when she said, "Oh, Xander said don't play the idol. If Sydney would have voted for me, I would have been gone." So I was kind of surprised by like how fast they threw each other under the bus. Like literally right after tribal council, they all threw each other the bus when they were just like high fiving and fist bumping about not getting Evie voted out, which was like super weird to me. Like they all seemed happy and stuff like that. Evie sticking her tongue out at Liana, and then right when they got back to camp, there's just every man from the salt. I was surprised about that. I was like, it was all of them too. It wasn't like one of them did and everyone else saw it. It was like all of them did it at the same time. I was like,
I don't understand why Xander doesn't trust Tiffany. Like she gave him back the idol.
Yeah, like really saw him give back the idol. I was like, what the heck? And then but Tiffany goes home, so whatever.
Yeah, for me, I look at this episode and I just see like, why didn't the Yase 3 at least try? At least try and then split when you realize it's not going to work on the day of tribal.
They didn't try to grab Erica.
Exactly.
They didn't try to grab Nasir. Like that's what they should have been doing.
Or even Heather. Like there were so many options there, but they didn't. They chose they chose to vote for two different people who didn't go home.
Yeah,
and really just stay completely. And again, they did all that flipping just to be on the outside of the vote again. Except now you're fractured on the outside of the vote. How dumb is that? How dumb is that?
I don't really know why. I was like, it was weird for a second. I thought like for like a second we were gonna see like maybe Nasir blindside because he got a confessional, which for Nasir being like a pretty important character kind of for the season, he hasn't gotten that much confessionals. We saw a confessional about him like, I'm not gonna play my idol. I feel safe. I was like, is that means he's gonna get blindsided? No, he ends up only getting one vote. But I was like, was that confessional? I'm just thinking like, is like Nasir going to be like a bigger player coming into like the next couple of episodes? I feel like,
I feel like eventually we're going to get that Nasir blindside because he's so. I don't see Nasir having the social awareness to be like, you know what, I can just sniff it out the air, like players like Jeremy. I feel like Jeremy's the player that comes to mind where Jeremy will never go home with an idol in his pocket. He will always sense it and immediately play it. I don't see Nasir having that sense for it and just playing it. I don't.
Yeah, me neither. But you never know. He is as confused as God on AstroTurf. So
I also want to mention I don't understand like Xander's up and down for me. I don't understand his strategy. So he voluntarily sits out of immunity for no reason. Like no one's gonna care that he stepped down, and then he also doesn't go full. Like he should have looked that whole bench over and not carried at all. If someone saw him, he's on the bottom.
Lazily looking at it, like, bruh, look side to side, not up and down, bro.
And then why did he give up reward in the first place? It's like
he's trying to buy goodwill, but
thoroughly, it's not like season 2. Like buying goodwill is not going to get you anywhere. And even in season 2, do you think, Tina and Colby are flipping on each other? If if Roger buys them some goodwill with the chat, no way. There's no. It doesn't matter what season. It can be season 1. It doesn't matter.
It worked on San Juan del Sur with like Natalie, even though it was so obvious. Like weren't they like that whole thing where they constantly kept giving up rewards for each other?
Yeah, everyone's giving up rewards for each other in like
San Juan del Sur. I think it was John Nish, and
I think Natalie did it too, though.
Yeah, they felt bad for one of their alliance members because they hadn't gotten an award the entire season, so they gave him up. They knew they weren't going home. I mean, they even did the stupid thing in San Juan del Sur where they like Jeff, like you can see, got mad at them because there was like, we're just gonna keep doing it until Pearls and Worlds wins. Then they just canceled the challenge. So I mean, I don't really get why Xander did it. At first, I thought like he saw the advantage somehow and just wanted to sit out because like the first thing when he got there, he looked at it. I was like, oh, he saw the advantage. He's gonna get it. Then no, it's like he just had the incapability of looking forward in front of him for some reason.
He just sat out for no reason.
And then I feel like he thought like maybe he'd gain some social points or something by sitting out for the rice.
No,
or maybe he really just was that
suspicious
hungry.
points.
Yeah,
suspicious. That's all.
Or maybe he was just that hungry. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, this person says Xander doesn't want to be seen as a talent. I mean,
I did think of that too.
That could possibly. Tommy apparently, quote unquote, purposely lost immunity challenges in 39, which I don't personally believe, but
no.
I did like Xander saying he did it. He likes to be with the losers, which there's some strategy to that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that is somewhat good, but like you want to be the winner when it comes to an immunity challenge, you know? It's like
yeah.
Especially in his
this was during the grilled cheese part. He said that, which is
like
it's smart to go with all the people who now feel bitter that they didn't get.
They were hard to bent over and bit their their food.
Yeah, that freaking Evie was like, "Oh my god, I studied that one. Like that just must have been ringing in Leon's head, and that makes me sleep at night. Who's our MVP for this episode?
Shoot, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Do you want to go with like maybe? I'm leaning.
I want to say Xander because I'm a Xander stan. You know.
I don't think Xander had a good episode.
Giving Tiffany up is not a smart move for him.
Yeah, and I also don't think Xander had a good
best player in the game. You know.
So he flipped on his alliance. At least Evie voted with Tiffany, to a random spot. Xander voted alone.
He's Xander,
now he did put this idol. That is positive. I don't think it's enough to put him at the MVP spot.
Okay, well, let's see who's left. Danny, Deshaun, Erica, Heather, obviously not. Nasir, Ricard, Shan, Evie, Liana, and Xander. So
you could no, it can't be Ricard because
it can't be Ricard, no. Or Shan, I don't think.
Although he won the Shan battle, that's not really a battle you want to win.
You sure you won the Shan battle? I just felt kind of like a stalemate at the end.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So then I feel like we have to go with Evie because she
I don't feel like there's a clear MVP this episode. That's
maybe Danny. He wasn't affected at all.
Yeah, Danny. You know, not for the guy his size, not even have his name mentioned once.
Do we go with a no pick on this episode?
I feel like that's just a cop out if we go with a no pick. You know.
Yeah.
I just want to say Nasir because Nasir's epic, but you know.
Yeah, I did like him sticking up, like him and Heather sticking up for themselves when Shan was just like, "You're gonna do this," and they're like, how about not?"
They're like,
Was it Nasir and Deshaun gunning for like to do this their original plan or whatever? Deshaun stood his ground. I like that. How he was like, "No, we should do this. This is dumb," and he was able to get everyone to be like, "Okay, yeah, we shouldn't vote off Heather." And then they ended up voting off Tiffany, which I'm guessing was their original plan. So I guess it could be Deshaun, but you know, I don't think there's
no way because Deshaun counted like Deshaun now is in turmoil with his supposed.
Yeah, but that's not happening yet. It's the episode.
I know.
He also showed everyone how easily frustrated he gets.
Exactly. And on top of that, he's already damaged their relationship. So if you want to use the argument of what's already happened, he's definitely already damaged the relationship. It's just next week we're gonna see how much.
Well, there's not like a clear front runner, so I'm just trying to see like.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we just go with a no pick this episode instead of forcing it. I mean, I think honestly, if I generally had to pick someone, I feel like you as much as I want to pick Evie, she's gonna go home soon. Like I feel like Danny's the pick here.
Yeah, I think Danny's the pick. You know, with him being this obviously physical threat, no one's even mentioned his name once. I think that's kind of impressive.
Let's go with the LVP, meaning the player who performed the worst, who's still in the game right now. Player who had the worst episode.
Honestly, I think it's Shan.
Shan.
So okay, hold on. So let me just go through the people who it could be. So obviously you have Shan first of all. You could say Ricard because he's at odds with Shan, who is just like very powerful. You could say Deshaun because again the exact same reason, and he had a huge temper tantrum, and I think he's more at odds with Shan than Ricard is. Mm-hmm. You could say Heather because she almost made almost made one of the dumbest moves I've seen like ever, like literally ever. And I guess you could say maybe Xander just because he's like he did all this useless stuff and then he couldn't find the idol. So those are your options. I feel like you have to go with Shan not because she had a worse episode than someone like, for example, a Heather, but because she had such a drop Like
Yeah.
we didn't expect Heather to do anything.
Heather's
Yeah,
already at
now-
0. She can't go any
Yeah.
lower.
Well,
Yeah.
she went to a -2, but Shan went from a 10 to a -2. So it's like I feel like you have to credit the person who went farther down and who had a worst episode compared to their other episodes. And if that's the case, I feel like you have to go with Shan here, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going with Shan as the LVP.
So we
I think
got
it's more
MVP as
clear.
Danny.
LVP.
So
Yeah.
we have MVP as Danny. We have LVP as Shan.
I'm okay with that.
I conceded my Tiffany person last week. That bamboozled me. Yeah.
Do you
I
guys
was
want to
like,
discuss what in the world Heather was thinking about? At Tribal.
She thought this was her moment. That's what she thought.
yeah, it was her time to
Probably,
shine.
Honestly, yeah.
I think
feel
she
like
just realized that she's boring and she wanted to have something interesting to her
yeah.
happen.
No, like actually, like genuinely, I feel like she might have just like wanted to have some fun.
Yeah,
Well,
I genuinely think that's what it is.
This is like the whole like everyone has like their own story and stuff, like the whole Penner thing. Everyone's making their own story.
Yeah.
And Heather's story is like, okay, I feel I'm on the bottom. This is my move. But it turns out, the move was stupid.
It turns out
Absolutely
it's just
dumb as shit.
and really like I don't know if it might affect something where like this might be the seeds of like the Sean whininess or something. I don't know, but like
Yeah.
other than that, I feel like I think Tiffany was the original target probably since as we saw her go home. So I don't know if it really changes up too much.
I think if Evie was the original target, but then she won immunity, and then it turned.
I mean like after the immunity challenge, I think Tiffany was the original target for them.
I will
to
say
get voted out.
it's tough to make a case for Shan being that LVP because who did Shan want to split it between? She wanted to split it between Tiffany and Xander, and I mean that's basically what they did, except minus
But
the
what
Xander
at
split.
what cost though?
Yeah,
Social
what
capital.
Yeah,
cost?
exactly.
She didn't
And
play it good. While she got what she wanted, she didn't play it good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like
the classic like
Deshaun. Yeah.
you got to listen to everybody, and then you didn't, but you got what you wanted.
She won the battle, but she might lose the war because of it.
Exactly.
You know,
Big
Exactly.
quotes, deep quotes.
deep quotes, deep quotes.
And the Chantel curse continues. Actually, I made this up. So whenever this is gonna sound really dumb, whenever a white person is available to get voted out, while Chantel's at a tribal council, a white person gets voted out. That's what's happened every single time.
True.
So
Wait, hold on. No.
That's that black girl magic.
JD.
I said whenever a white person was available to get voted out at a tribal council, Chantel was at.
Oh, because like after when it was JD, it was her, Jeannie, Ricard, and JD, which is all. Oh yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, according to Liana, that's the black what? What did she call
Black girl magic.
it?
No, Shan said that, didn't she?
Shan
I don't know who
said
said
that.
that.
She said it right before like
something
the
Shan would say.
challenge started.
Is there a
That
way
sounds
to the way to edit Heather to be non-existent? Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jeff still has more confessionals than Heather. Heather got a whopping 1 confessional, which is about 1 more than she usually gets this
Yeah,
episode. So
well,
big
one
props
too
to her.
many.
I know.
One too many.
I
Well,
think it's
I
okay
feel
if
like
people
now-
get purple. That's a hot take, but I'm okay with it. If they're
Well,
really
I
following.
don't-
I like
I
it
don't-
when the editors are having fun. Like there was a moment when Heather was about to say something, they just cut her off. I find that hilarious.
Yeah.
I like the fun. I think it's never okay to purple somebody, no matter how uninteresting they are, because when you purple somebody, they automatically become even more uninteresting than if you show them being boring. I would rather you show Heather with maybe like 3 more confessionals, like overall throughout the entire season. Yeah, maybe they're boring, but that's 3
I mean,
confessionals.
Survivor's
No,
only
yeah,
on
I
for
agree.
45 minutes, really.
So
though.
hold
I mean,
on. So in the grand scheme of things, three more confessionals isn't that much. You show 3 more, and now we actually maybe care about her at least as a pawn on the board. Like right now, she's not even a bishop. She's not a horse. She's not even a pawn. She's just like a little grain of sand on the board that just kind of stumbled on. We're wiping her off. Like nobody cares about her. At least make her a pawn on the board for Deshaun to use, and not just like a person on, like who isn't even in the game. Like we don't care about her at all. I'd rather just be like, oh, she's boring. Than I'd then be like, why is the camera woman in the game right now? Well, who is that? Because that's not the whole point is that I'm meeting all these people. I care about all of them to an extent, but I care about more, like some more than others. And I feel like when you purple somebody, you then make the viewer just not give a shit about them at all.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's not what I want.
This is what I gotta say. Survivor is only on for most of the time 45 minutes. Really, every second counts, and with all a bunch of stuff happening, they can't give every single person screen time. And if someone's boring, that's just TV. They're not gonna put you on. So
I understand, but
It's a
go ahead,
strategy. I think it's a strategy. Like I think the purple edit can be a personality. So maybe the purple edit is better than what Heather would have given. Like
I
we
guess
wouldn't
so.
really care about her if she was given boring confessionals, but we care about her because she has a purple edit.
Yeah.
Maybe they've like caught on and they're like being very meta or something like that.
Nah, the whole season's ended at this point. They can't really do anything about
Yeah, that's
it.
true.
Like, what if she just said like I don't know, like she was like every week she was like, I don't know, like my plan, my master plan. I guess it could be funny if she thought she was a mastermind, but I doubt she thought she was a mastermind.
Yeah, I don't know what in the world she thought she was getting out of. Like she was like Shan has. I when Shan saw that, you could see 7 hours of finally getting the plan down. Like in Shan, like girl, I swear to God, if you if you flip even one vote onto your side here, because Shan had sat there for literally like 7 hours and like been stressed out and gone to like everyone in the game, and you could tell that it like Shan was like, what is like she was looking ahead of like no, oh hell no, like, let's just
Who
go
was she
out
trying to
there.
get the vote on too? Was she trying to get the vote on this year? Is that what she's
So
trying
she
to
was
do?
trying to get
Yeah.
she was trying to get I think it was three people to vote for Nasir.
Because she didn't
Yeah.
want her name to get written down, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you guys?
She was worried about that. Yeah.
I don't know your guys' thought. You might have mentioned this, but how do you guys feel about all the talking at tribal, like in groups?
So in winners at war, no bueno, especially at the Tyson tribal. I think that was like the last straw for me. Because I went out of that tribal, and to this day I really still don't really understand what happened there. Like I finally got to a point where I understood it, but like I can't say like I really understand what happened. And if we're 500 days removed from an episode and I still don't know what happened, that's not acceptable. But at the same time, it's improved this season. In my personal opinion, I think it's been better edited. I think it's been. I still think it's so hard to edit though, because you can't show it all, or else we'll know exactly who's going to go home, being Heather. I guarantee
it puts the editors in a rough position.
I guarantee you that there was a soundbite of them saying, you know what, just let's instead of flipping onto Heather, let's just keep original plan. They can't say that, or else we're gonna know it's either Heather or Xander, and then that's not fun. That's not fun anymore. And so it's tough to edit because it puts the editors in a hard place. But at the same time, I do like it overall, and I'm honestly overall a fan of it. As long as it doesn't happen like every single tribal, then it just becomes annoying. Even if it's edited perfectly, it becomes annoying after like the 8th tribal.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously you can't fault the editors for they're just working with what they got. So I'm always on the more of the side of like if it's edited well, I'm okay with it. Oh, Spencer, yo, what's up? So yeah, I mean that I've always been more of a fan of it than most people. I don't get why people hate it so much. I think it has a potential to be interesting if it like causes a big blindside. I'm all there for it.
Here's the counter I would say to that. So like last week, right? I feel like there would have been more chaos if they weren't allowed to regroup after the Xander thing. Like this,
we don't know what happens, and then we're complaining about, oh my god, like what the like that is so confusing. I have no idea why freaking Heather went home right there. I have no idea. Like, so I feel like it's like you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Or like if Jeff says, okay, no talking, go vote. We are so confused as to why someone went home, and there's no amount of editing that they can do before that to prove to us why in that situation the like 11 people, how they all individually felt about who the
votes would be over everywhere. It'd probably just end up being like
exactly
something like 1-1-1, 2-3, something like that, and you don't want to see
that. I understand like a lot of people would say back to that, like that's so cool, like a 1-1-2, like it's not cool. Like when you're like thinking, okay, well, like why did Heather go home with 4 votes? Like that's not cool. Like
at that point, everyone's just voting for themselves. Like they're all in survival mode. They're like, okay, who do I vote for? I can't talk to anyone else. I just had to vote for who I think everyone else is going to vote for, and you don't know what's going to happen then.
But that's just my opinion, personally.
I personally,
I understand. I kind of look at it similar to like when it happened back in Karamoan with Malcolm.
Yeah.
Like things would have been crazy, but then Philip said, "Stick to the plan," and I feel like every time they group, that's basically a bunch of stick to the plans. And so it kind of takes the chaos out.
Keith Neal, yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see it, but either way you slice it, it can end up being like a really.
It ends up being the same outcome every single time. It's just a matter of sometimes It's a matter of sometimes it's just more interesting to see the people at least get up, and you're like, oh no, like they're up. Like it'll never necessarily get old. It's definitely lost its value at this point. I'd say like it's lost its shock value for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Oh, good.
No, I was just saying, yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
All right. Well, what's going on over there on the Skylander universe? What's going on over there in the whole universe?
I took a week off because school sucks, so that happened. We just recently hit 10K subscribers, guys. So thank you to everyone who subscribed. Obviously, 10K is a big number. Just uploading every Saturday, Sunday, whenever I can. I might actually stream this Friday or Saturday, just because why not? So. Yeah, I might live stream
What's the
this
stream
weekend.
about?
It's I don't know. I don't want to give it away yet, but it's not Skylanders.
Sure.
I'll say
Sure.
that it's not Skylanders.
Is Survivor is it gaming? What is it? Or like
It's Epic Gaming. It's Epic Gaming. How about that?
Epic Gaming. Okay. What's going on over there with the bitter juror? I know you post like either weekly or bi-weekly or
it's really whenever I come up with an idea.
Yeah.
I usually I procrastinate and then I do it all in like one day.
Same.
I don't have an idea yet, so when it happens, I have a couple ideas. I just don't know which one I'm going to go with yet.
Yeah, maybe you should go with like. Well, have you talked about like the Shan tweet or no?
I was going to but then I saw you talk about it.
Yeah, sorry.
I guess I'll add on to this. I have a Survivor YouTube channel called Survivant, very small.
Survivant,
I'm going to be uploading. It's not going to be like. It's going to be kind of like a commentary video, I guess you can say, of me just talking about all the BS with the politics and stuff on Survivor. Exactly. It's got no script or anything, just coming straight from my mouth.
Just rambling.
So.
Just like me.
All right, so that'll be up in the next couple days.
Here's one idea I'm going to throw out to you guys. Let me know. So you guys know Rob has a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't. You guys might feel good about him. I love to shit on them.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm thinking about like going through because they did a terrible like rankings videos. I'm gonna probably look through some of those.
Some of those rankings were very, very strange in my opinion,
especially some of the reasonings.
But they weren't coming from RJP. They're coming from the Survivor community. I think he just kind of had to justify each one.
Well, more like what they say. Like I know they did like one on Palau and they just shit on Tom. So I was thinking about just tearing that apart.
Obviously they put Honor the Idols at 40th place, which it's not. I'm going to say it. Look, Survivor on Idols is not the worst season in my opinion. It's up there, but it's not.
It isn't. Yeah.
I can't like any Survivor that has bringing back players that they voted out. But
true. I mean, Thailand's the worst season of all time, though. So
I love Thailand.
Of course you like Thailand. Honestly, that makes sense.
I love Brian Hyde.
Our hate video. Yeah.
Okay. How about this? They have Survivor. What? They have Survivor Amazon at like 8th place. Like.
Yeah, I want to watch that because I feel like I don't know if
Rob was on the season.
Kind of be like a little bit of a cuck where he's going to be like, yeah, I apologize for being sexist.
Yeah. For on
different time.
But he doesn't actually care. That's why I want to make fun of it, but
making fun of people online. Favorite pastime.
It's actually so fun.
It's making fun of people who are fake,
who are high up. Yeah, it's punching up.
And it's whatever. He played on the season, but
exactly. Yeah. He's good.
Yeah, I feel like he's not gonna be affected by me.
I feel like RHAP is like the very like corporate Survivor channel. Like
the corporate. He used to be awesome, but.
He used to be like the new, like young, like fun.
He fed into the wokeness, like,
fresh, and then he just like turned to like everybody else. Like in fact, he's like
typical Survivor fan.
Well, he's the head of everybody else. Everyone wants to fit in with his crowd.
Exactly. Yeah, he's the head of the Survivor Redditors.
Yeah. Have you guys posted videos on Reddit? Every time I do, I get it taken down.
Yes, so I post like memes of sometimes on Survivor, right? On my Surviving channel, just like. Because why not? And I'll post them on the Reddit. And my video of like, it was like Survivor 41 slander, and it got taken down. And I know it's because in one of the slanders, it was like Ricard fans explaining why guys is sexist. That was one of the ones I put. I know that's why that video got taken down.
So some advice. So I did that early on when I was a little bit smaller, and I just want to get a base viewing. So don't title it my video. Don't ever put my video in the title ever. I said no. You put like for example, I did like a video on is hero versus villains underrated or overrated, And so I would put, is Heroes versus Villains overrated? Like, check out, or just
check out my video on Survivor.
No. So like, I would just put the title. Don't put my video in it, because then that's like a trigger for them to be like self-promotion. If you just put like a video, maybe they'll think that you're somebody else putting somebody else's video up, and then that's not self-promotion.
See, I've kind of tried that form where I'm like, because I don't really like self-promoting myself anyway, but so I kind of like just posted like, here's the video I made. Like, I didn't say that. I just, here's the video.
Yeah. Epic video, guys. Check it out.
I think it's more of like the comment, like, because I get,
definitely.
I can't resist responding to the dumbasses who respond to my video. So
yeah,
I think that's, and I get a bunch of downvotes, which I like the downvotes. I like.
Me too.
Yeah, keep it coming.
Yeah, they don't.
My Shan video had 54 likes and 16 dislikes. So
16 dumbasses. Kidding. I'm kidding.
It comes with the territories, like speaking against the,
exactly
whatever the mainstream is.
All right. Well,
obviously,
guys. First of all, you guys, thank you for coming on. Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for the continuous support, guys. You guys are watching, and again, none of this happens without you guys. I'm just a weird guy speaking into a microphone. That's it, guys. I'll talk to you guys in